Okay. Oh, now they tell you, okay.
I'm glad they do that, but I
Yeah.
never knew they did that until recently. And I was like, ooh.
They just started doing it recently and they probably caught some stuff.
Can you do it on the low? Look.
Exactly.
So usually everyone that I interview, I have them tell me, besides just your name, who are you? Like, how do you identify? And then what's one thing that you love most about who you are?
Before the pandemic, I probably would have answered that question completely differently. I would have like, who am I? I would have been like, I'm a stand-up comedian. I'm a writer. I used to be a
All the things that we
choreographer.
do.
Right. And it's like now that we've gone a year without actually being able to do the things that we do and the things that define ourselves, I've really been thinking about who am I at my core. And so at my core, I'm someone who values honesty and truth above all.
Period.
And
Not an easy position, sis.
right, it's not.
Yeah, what is it that you love most about being who you are, Kerry?
Oh, I gotta just pick one? Nah.
You can do a list.
I love that I am committed to change and growth. So always willing to learn, always willing to make a mistake because that's part of the process, just being resilient, always reading, always just trying to find ways to be better, always trying my best to accept accountability because I think that like once you accept responsibility for things, you'll find that you actually have more power that way. And so just being committed to changing and growing.
That's really good. You mentioned in the pandemic, like you would have, before the pandemic, you would have answered differently. So what has happened with you in the space of maybe inside and mentally, but what's happened for you during 2020 that's made you shift now until who you are now?
I think just being able to reflect and bring things to a screeching halt. And in a moment of stillness and silence, you can really hear the voices in your head clearly. You can hear what your body is telling you, what your spirit is calling you to do, the things that you've been neglecting, the things that you thought were maybe so important. But now without all of that, you're like, oh, this is what's really important. Family is important. Taking time for self-care, eating better, just like being grateful for all the small things because everything we thought we had kind of disappeared and reimagined itself. Yeah, so just doing that, just doing a lot of writing, but not even writing for a job and a living, writing the way that I used to as a kid and falling in love with the process of it and doing that again and just falling in love with the things that made me happy as a child. So that kind of freed me in a way.
Oh, people need to know how important that is to be connected to your inner child, because that was such a space of exploration and just, it didn't, nothing really mattered. You would just do whatever, right? What your heart desires kind of thing. Because I was shooting the other day and, you know, in doing a lot of skits and characters and things like that, you play all day, basically, right? And so my producer was like, you know what? I just appreciate being in around you and in the space with you because you are connected to your inner child. And that's something so special about creatives who get to like tap into that. And especially when it comes to comedy. So like, how do you feel able to tap into inner child, Kerry?
I think part of it is trying your best to not care about what anyone else thinks or has to say, and quieting the noise outside and just doing what is organically you and what you feel like you're free doing. Yeah, I think that's a big part of it. And just like, I'm really big on being honest, so honest to whatever my emotions are. And if you notice, children and old people
listen, I'm gonna cry right now.
Exactly. Yeah.
Kids will be like, I'm gonna cry. Old people will be like, well, I don't. There's a freedom in that.
Yeah,
we do end up catering ourselves a lot of the times to not offend or to not ruffle any feathers or to not cause too much drama or whatever the case may be, and we end up not being our full selves.
And it's really selfish. Like if we spend so much time taking care of like what everybody else thinks and what the world needs. And it's literally the most selfish thing you can do, because one, is dishonest, because you're not really doing it because you want to, you're doing it because you think that's what you're supposed to do. And then you're denying yourself those moments to actually be honest about who you are and what you want. And so we don't have time for that anymore. No, we don't.
No, we have reclaimed it.
Yep.
And no more living in truth. Well,
that's a whole little sermon we just had.
That's what I'm saying. What I tell you when I do these interviews, it's more about tapping into a person like you who has been able to strive and thrive and get places in life. I want to be like, well, what they be thinking, how they think, how they move. I can package that and give it to people so that we could all figure out this life. Like, if they've done this, then you can do it. Y'all, celebrities are not special. Nope. They've just been able to tap into something and keep going, and therefore get to the different levels with it. But I think people just think people are born special with this thing that they have. And it's like, well, yeah, we're born unique.
Yeah.
And that's special enough.
Yep.
So if I'm able to like take what y'all have to offer and give it to people, we can be free.
Yeah, it's true. You can't keep all the knowledge to yourself. The purpose is to get the knowledge, and then you got to teach. Yeah,
because sometimes you don't even think you know things. Because people have started interviewing me, and I'm like, I don't know nothing.
But you do.
But then I start talking, and I'm like, oh,
I really know it.
Right, it's my experience. Okay, I'm not putting on. This is what I've done. So I just like, those are the information nuggets that I want to always gather when I talk to people. So I'm always grateful when y'all open up and you share in that way too. Listen, thank you.
That's a question.
Of course. Well, your resume is long and strong, my dear, and it is very impressive to see a Black girl move in different spaces and get to do different things. So I want to take it all the way back and talk about, where did you find the comedy in yourself, and then how did we get to a professional level?
I come from a funny family. Everyone is, and I don't think we realize that we're funny. And
you're now, Brooklyn, right?
I'm from Brooklyn, but my family's Caribbean. So my parents. So Caribbean people are on a whole other level.
It's a different level of humor.
It is, because they be dead serious. And that's what's hilarious.
Right.
Dead serious.
I love it.
I think humor was always the way we kind of coped in my family. And as a kid, I was always a performer. So I would always like write poems. I would do little skits. I would always do accents and make fun of people. And that's always been who I was. And then I remember in 6th grade, my teacher introduced us to poetry. And so it was Maya Angelou and Langston Hughes, and it was our Black History Month presentation, and we got to perform, and I got to do Langston Hughes, Life for Me Ain't No Crystal Stair, and I put on a outfit, and I felt like I transformed, and I was like, oh, I'm a poet. I'm a poet. Yeah. And so I started writing poetry and performing at the New Yorican and slamming. And that gave me, I was doing that in high school, and that like gave me the confidence to like get on stage and present my ideas and my truths to people. So and I was like a rebel Black woman at like 13, like just being like Mama Africa against the system. And that's how I found my voice. And the short of it is that poetry led to rapping, and rapping led to sketches and like doing music video parodies and stuff, and then sketches up to improv, and then improv led to stand-up, and then
what a journey.
Writing and creating.
Yeah, but it's all interconnected. Like everything used everything.
It did.
Yeah, that's really, really dope. I love that story. I love that you performed at New Yorican. That was because I'm from North Carolina, and when I moved to New York, I was like, oh, she's going to the New Yorican.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, all the way out there. I love going there. It was just, you couldn't tell me I wasn't moving to New York City to be like the poet, the playwright. Yeah. Like I thought that I was gonna be on, well, I was on the scene, but then it was journalism that took over. But I was just like, that was it for me. So I could only imagine what it felt like as a New York kid. Y'all be having the like just the access to do some cool stuff so early and really explore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
That's what I love about New York kids. People be like, oh, I could never, but
Girl,
it's something
the
about the
things
culture.
I've done before
Yeah.
I was like 21, I feel like I've lived several lives because I also left out that like I was a choreographer at this time. I was
Right.
like,
That's why I was like, your resume is
yeah,
nuts.
I was a fashion designer. Like there's so many crazy things that I did, and I'm just like, that's wild.
That's all a part of it. That's what I love about people that just want to just, hey, why not? Because you're able to try, like Issa Rae talked about the shoes that she partnered with Chuck Taylor for. Like now she got Chucks out here. Like, why not?
Love, yes.
Why not? So you've been why not for a long time. And now we see you not only writing, flexing the pen, but we see your beautiful face as a love interest. Get into it on Flatbush Misdemeanors. That was one of the parts that I love the most because I was like, well, let me see what Kerry's getting, what she's doing. And then to see the character that you are, I was like, oh, we get to see a dark-skinned love affair.
I know.
You're not
It's
a
so crazy
sidekick.
that you never see that.
Yeah, what does that feel like for you? Because you have all these hats that you wear for this show.
It feels great. It honestly feels like a blessing. It feels like everything in my life is perfectly aligned. Sometimes, especially when you can relate because you sound like you wanted to perform your whole life. And so when you're younger, you have an idea of how and when. You're like, oh, I'm 30. I was already supposed to be rich and famous. I'm like, damn, I missed the
Girl.
point. 30. What am I going to do now? You know? But everything, you are right exactly where you're supposed to be at the moment you're supposed to be there. And so
Right.
from getting the writing job to like just every single thing about my involvement with this project, even back to 2017 when it was just a web series. And I played Kevin's love interest in just one little scene in one little episode. It was just like every single thing was meant to happen the way that it happened. So it feels really great to just be able to do both those things. Two credit checks.
Oh, paid twice. We love to see
Okay.
that. We love to see that. That is so dope. So, I mean, when you have writer credits and star credits, like how do you split your time when you're working?
Well, the writer's room happens before we film.
Right.
So they're literally happening.
There's no overlap.
Not really. For the producers, for like the showrunners, there is an overlap because obviously they're wearing so many different hats and they're also the stars of the show. So like for them, I know they were on set and still having to like give notes on episodes that were like still waiting to get approved. But for me, my job was for the most part pretty much done with all the writing. And then I just got to focus on studying my lines and showing up to do my episodes.
Yeah. I mean, and talk about the alignment of it to be able to play someone who basically you are. You know, this Caribbean girl living in Flatbush, she's active in the community. You know, she cares about, you know, herself and him and Brooklyn as a whole and getting against gentrification. Like that, is that cool or what? Like you were playing yourself.
It was really cool. And during the coolest part to me is even though I started the room being so grateful to be just a writer, in the back of my head, I was like, it would be dope if I could, like I set my intentions. Like they don't really give staff writers episodes. You know, usually you just get to contribute and you pitch in the room, but you never get your own episode to take. I was like, I want to get one episode. And my sister was like, just one? I was like, well, staff writers don't even usually get episodes. She was like, aim higher. My sister's my best friend, my manager, my cheerleader. And she was like, you're going to write 2 episodes. So I ended up writing 2 episodes. And she was like, and you could be on camera too. And so before I started the actual room on my first day of work, I literally wrote down, I still have it pinned up, I am Jasmine. I am Jasmine. In my note, I was like, I am Jasmine. Remember? I am Jasmine. And then when I went into the room, I kind of left that all behind and just did my job as a writer and pitched and wrote the stories and let the stories shape themselves because my number one goal was to write the best story. And so I took myself out of it. I just wanted it to be the best show it could be. And I was happy to be able to write. And so her being activist, her being like that, all of that happened to just be what the story needed to be told. It wasn't because it was me in mind. None of that happened. I ended up auditioning for it after we were all done. So it just worked out.
It was the intention. You said it. You're like, I am Jasmine. And you are Jasmine. And so here we are seeing this show that is so specifically Flatbush, and you being a Flatbush gal, does it capture the true heart for you?
It does. It does. It's great to just see. For me, I love the different characters that you get to see.
I love that they did that, you know, because it is diverse.
It is.
There. Specifically diverse, yeah.
And it's nice to be able to see our cultures represented in so many different ways and making sure we got that right. Like the Nigerian, like one of the girls, her name is Dami on the show. Her parents, one is Nigerian and one is Haitian. And so if you don't know, you might be like, oh, I'm mixing up these accents. What country are they from? One is very Nigerian.
One's stressed for her. I would call Child Protective Services. You know what? I got a really bad deal.
I just need one, but the duo of it.
Would not be a Black girl teenager with them two parents. We would fist fight.
Yeah, but that's real.
But see, and people get that. Like folks that understand culture, that understand the diaspora, they are like, oh, that's stress.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I really loved it. I really dug the show. I liked how the characters felt. I liked how it, especially coming out of living in Flatbush and moving to LA, it just made me miss Flatbush too. So I was like, the timing, I don't know if am I emotional? But it was a really good watch. So I'm so proud that you're able to contribute in the way that you are and be a star in it. So now, what are some more plans that we have going forward? Are you going to constantly want to do both?
Yeah, I want to do all the things I'm called to do. I was like, I don't have to choose.
No.
Do it all.
Do it all, because there's so much on your plate that you do as well. I actually don't know why I didn't know that you were the founder of Kwanzaa Crawl.
Yeah, that's my baby.
I didn't know that. I was like, wait, she did that?
I keep very busy, Danielle. I don't sleep much.
Why do you feel like you're able to handle so much? Is it just you want to do so much, or is it just like you like being busy?
No, I think it's about the purpose and the why, that there's something. Kwanzaa Crawl is my tribute to my community and to Black people and to Black owned businesses, and to a philosophy that's very important to me, and that I try to live all Black everything, whenever, however, all the time. So I was like, how can I get us on a little page as a community just to start thinking about this in a small way? And so I was like, oh, this is something that we can do. It's once a year. It's seasonal. I can still do the things that I do and do this because I have a really dope and supportive team. So I think,
why not? Well, what I love is that now we're getting to a point where folks are appreciating the creation, the Black holidays that have been created or implemented. And now we just got Juneteenth added as a federal holiday, where it used to be a couple years back, people would be like, girl, Juneteenth is 4th of July, even knowing the racist history behind it. And then we have Kwanzaa that was created, and people felt like, I think they still might actually be kind of shitting on Kwanzaa a little bit.
They are.
Yeah, making it seem like it's ghetto or it's silly.
Yeah, or whatever. It sounds funny. I just can't.
Oh, it's fake, and but it's like what we're doing is uplifting and preserving Black culture and the principles. If you actually went through them, it's amazing what the principles are in Kwanzaa. And so I'm wondering now how you feel now that it's 2021 and Blackness has become, I don't want to call it a trend or a hot thing, but Blackness has become a topic of pop culture, a topic of conversation. And people want to say, listen to Black women, or we're in this space of Black Lives Matter. So do you think Kwanzaa Crawl is going to be now widely accepted more than it has been?
I have already seen it happen. We are in our 5th year of it. And in our first year, it's very interesting. In our first year, we almost couldn't get any Black publications to cover it at all. We got people responding like, we don't do bootleg events. We don't mess with Kwanzaa. And I was like, what? And then so funny, like white media, they don't know that sometimes like white people don't know like what we don't jack in the Black community. Like that's how Ja Rule ended up on the Fire Festival, because white people thought, oh, he's still cool.
We love him.
Black people. And we were like, no, we're not coming. Ja Rule is not coming. And so like you'll find white people being like, happy Kwanzaa, because they think that we celebrate it. And you'll see other Black people be like, what? Nah, I celebrate Christmas. And so now, 4 years later, we're starting to see, and it does help that, I don't want to say Blackness is a trend, but for me, I try not to.
Something that people care about right now.
Yeah. For me, I try not to shame people about them not being on what I was on when I was on it, kind of thing. Like, oh, I've been woke,
right?
Because I was a Rastafarian when I was 14, and so I've always been like a Pan-Africanist. I've always been natural hair. I've always I haven't had soda since I was 13. You know what I mean? And so I try not to be the obnoxious person that's like, oh, now everybody want to eat clean. Now everybody want to go to Tulum. I don't care. I'm just happy that we're all here now. I'm happy that we're all here now, and now where we go.
Right, and now where we're going. Yeah. So you're gonna keep crawling with them.
No, yeah, like it's just like, wait, come on. I'm happy that you know about it now, and we're here, and you can come and show love, and that's fine. And in 5 more years, there'll be people who were shitting on it now. You know what I mean? And so it's fine.
Stay the course. Stay the course when you know that something is right, and you're doing, like to your point earlier about purpose, and you know that that's where you're going with it. Stay the course with it.
Yeah, and also know that everything is not for everybody, and I'm okay with that. Kwanzaa is not for everybody. Kwanzaa Crawl is not for everybody. That's okay. Find your thing. You do your thing. I'm gonna do my thing.
Right. It works for you. So I want to go back a little bit into the writing portion, because you have such strong credits. I know that you have a lot of really amazing talent inside your fingertips. So as an experienced writeress in the world, what are like some tips that you would give to the folks who want to break into comedy writing and writing for TV as well?
I would say research. Not enough people, oddly enough, research the craft that they want to be in. Mm-hmm. And I mean, read books. There's tons of books out there. I literally just ordered a book from Amazon the other day called Comedy Writing Secrets, because like another comedian that I respect recommended it. And so I'm always learning, I'm always reading, I'm always in classes, I'm always taking online seminars. I am sitting with people who are doing what I want to do. And like, I'm meeting with people who are where I want to be in a few years. And I'm asking them questions and finding out more about their journey and how do they do things. I'm asking a lot of questions. I'm doing it. And so also, you don't want analysis paralysis where you're just like gathering information and just stay in class perpetually, like Lynn from Girlfriends. Like at some point, you actually have to get out there and do the thing. And so also do the thing, make it messy, make it bad, keep rewriting, keep doing drafts, but just keep doing it. And you'll get better by virtue of having the practice.
Mm-hmm. That's really good. I love those tips, especially the ever learning, because I think people also think, oh, she's made it, so that's it. She's just going to keep doing whatever she's doing. But it's like, if you keep the tools sharp, you'll forever be working, because you're always going to have like the tools that you need to do better, to do more. Mm-hmm. I feel that. I love that. A few more questions and you are good to go. What has been like a crowning moment that you feel like you've had so far as a comedian?
It's tough to say, because I don't know that there's been one big moment. Like people often ask, like, what's your big break? And I don't know that there's been one moment. It's always like a combination of things and a collection of experiences. But I want to say one thing that I'm really proud of is winning March Madness, which is a competition at Caroline's on Broadway. They have it every year.
Congratulations. And you made history making that win.
I sure did. I was the only woman. I'm still the only woman to have won it. And they've been doing it for like 15, 20 years. And basically I beat out 64 other comedians. Every week for a month, I just took down people and I was the last one standing. And it was amazing.
Wow, right? It's giving Sha'Carri Richardson
Yes,
track, right?
like that girl.
That is amazing. That is not an easy feat. So we know we got the chops. So that's it. I love it. So how do you stay well practiced? Are you always trying out your stuff, or do you do a bunch of shows here? Well, I guess COVID has changed a lot of that. But yeah, staying sharp.
During COVID, I didn't do stand-up at all. I didn't do any Zoom
A
shows.
lot of y'all did. Yeah, a lot of comedians were like,
Well, a lot of people did it though. A lot of people were in the parks. A lot of people sat still for maybe 3 months and was like, fuck it, I need a mask and a mic. And they went out there. And I was like, no, that's okay. I'm gonna use this time to adapt and do other things, to study up, to write like half hour, to write scripts and short films and do other things. And so now that the world is open, I'm back out there. I'm doing 10 to 12 shows a week. I'm on stage. I'm writing every day. I'm always trying new stuff. I'm out here.
That's a regimen, 10 to 12.
Yeah. But that's light work. There's people doing way more than me.
No, that's why I was like, how are y'all? But if it is what you're doing, you're not even looking at it like that. And that's also why you are where you are. History making and writing, giving it to them. I'm so proud of you. Like, I feel like one of your Caribbean aunties. That's my little Kerry. You are doing so amazing, and it's so great to meet you. Like, I'm just like, such a man.
Likewise, so great to meet you too.
Yes, and I'm sure it won't be the last. At least I hope it won't be the last time. We'll see each other at the Emmys, the Oscars, all the shows.
At Issa's yacht party, where
I'm ready.
Definitely gonna be there.
Ooh, mark our words. Mark this moment. What is today? The 1st of July, 2021, 2:05 p.m. Pacific. Catch us at Yacht Shit. Thank you so much, Kerry, and congratulations to everything you got going and everything that's coming.
Thank you. And likewise, I wish you all the best and much success to you in sunny and beautiful LA.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, sis.
No problem. Bye, love.
Here.